Hi there, folks. Kevin Tracy with another product review. And it's not really a typical product review for me because this is a 5-year anniversary product review. You see, about 5 years ago, I picked up, I actually got this keyboard as a present. It is the AULA B-Fire Expert Gaming Keyboard. And I did a video on this about 5 years ago. And I was really happy to get it. And the fact that it's still in my computer right now, and it's been in my computer since that video, is really a testament to just how good this keyboard has been over the last 5 years. And anyways, it's actually one of my better performing videos on YouTube. And I figured, even to this day, and I figured, well, it's probably about time that I do an update on this keyboard because I watched the video again. And I made a couple comments that I would like to kind of address, kind of now that it's been 5 years into the use of this AULA B-Fire Expert Gaming Keyboard. So anyways, the first thing I wanted to address is the palm rest, which is the first comment I really made after typing on the keyboard. And that being that if you're typing, one hand is going to be on this palm rest and the other hand is going to be on this over here, which is different. And when I first started typing on this, it bothered me enough that I said something about it. It has been 5 years since that blog post that I wrote that was 1,300 words. I know that because I just watched the video again before recording this. And it is not a problem whatsoever. In fact, I totally forgot that was ever an issue. So this is really comfortable to type on. If there was any discomfort at the beginning, I have since gotten used to it and it is fine. I have no complaints about typing on this keyboard whatsoever. So it's done a good job at its primary purpose of being a keyboard. So I am really happy with that. Another great thing about the keyboard too is that the keys are all where they're supposed to be. The reason I changed out my last keyboard was because the backspace key was only one key wide, and I wanted one that was a double key. And I was kind of worried that the enter key was kind of a weird shape. Not been an issue whatsoever. So yeah, the shift key is a little bit larger than what I think I would normally be used to, although it is a double key. But anyways, there's nothing on this keyboard that makes it counterintuitive to use. All the keys are exactly where they ought to be, and they all do a great job at doing what they're supposed to do. And if you notice this keyboard's a bit dirty, it's because I've been using it for the past 5 years. So I apologize about the dirt if you can see that. And anyways, the next thing I want to talk about is the light in here itself. And this is still lighting up after 5 years of use, which is impressive. However, it's an LED light, which is why it's still working after 5 years. However, the one thing I want to point to is that this is the blue on full intensity. This is where I've had it for the last 5 years. Now, in that 5 years, my computer has been off for about half the time. So I would say about this keyboard has been on and full intensity for about 2.5 years. Anyway, so yeah, this is after 2.5 years of use, and it's coming out okay on the camera. I never noticed it being dim. However, in preparation of this video, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot this thing can do other colors. Now watch this. I'm going to press the FN key and 5, and that is really freaking bright. It is that's the pink color too. I got it on there we go. So that's the full intensity of pink and blue. It's not coming out on the camera very well. I would say the blue is about as bright as the red dim color. So this color, the dimmer, this is all kind of coming out weird in this camera view. But anyways, the blue full intensity right now after 2.5 years of use is about half the luminosity it used to be. It has gotten a lot dimmer. It's twice as less than half as bright as it used to be, is what I'm trying to say. So anyways, I wanted to bring that up because, and it's normal with LEDs, they do get dimmer over time. They're not supposed to get dimmer this quickly over time, but I mean, it was a cheap keyboard made in China, so I mean, it's going to get dimmer a little bit quicker than what LEDs probably should otherwise. But and the other thing too is it's a keyboard. How long do you usually keep a keyboard around unless it's like one of those old IBM really clicky keyboards that everybody just loves? Most people don't keep their keyboards, more than 5 years, and Yeah, I love this keyboard. Even with it getting dimmer, the brightness of this thing was never really that important to me. I'm the only one who really sees it. Okay, so let's also talk about some of the keys that are on here as well. The keys are awesome to type with. They give a really good tactile feel when you press the key, and it just feels good when you do that. So it makes that typical keyboard sound, but it's not that really mechanical sound of those old IBM ones. But it has that kind of a you know when you're pressing the key down type feel to it. If you look closely at this, you can see some of the letters are starting to show where, like the D is showing where, the C is showing where. Overall, it's not that bad. I kind of expected these to look like this after the first probably month of use. And the fact that they're only this dim after 5 years of use, the period key is kind of going to, but after 5 years of use, these keys are only now starting to fade out a little bit, or to wear out a little bit. And that to me is pretty incredible. Like I said, I really expected the black paint on these keys to completely be wiped away and be like half transparent, with the letters not being able to be read after probably a year or maybe even 2 years when I got this thing. And that wouldn't have surprised me, because that's about how long other keyboards from manufacturers like HP and Logitech have lasted me. It's about 2 years, and after 2 years, the keys start wearing out to the point where they just are, you can't read them anymore. And being a blogger, I happen to know where my keys are, so it's not that big of a deal. So I'm, fine with typing on blank keys, but it's just one of those things I expected, and the keys have actually held up really well. So that's a unexpected benefit of this keyboard, I guess, and something that's nice to say about it. But anyways, yeah, the other thing I mentioned too in that video was I had a bag of transparent keys. At the time, I didn't understand why you would want transparent keys, but since that time, I have realized that the 4 keys that were in there were probably meant to replace the W, A, S, and D keys, which are your typical movement keys when you're playing a computer game on the keyboard. So that would make sense if you want to always see where those keys are, so that you can just, if you're playing in the dark or something and you all of a sudden need to press a key, like, oh crap, I gotta move, you can really quickly hit those keys and know exactly where they are, which them being transparent then would be illuminating it on the keyboard. And so I could see the benefit of that. And like I said, if you're literate enough to play games on a computer, you're probably, well, I shouldn't say that, there's a lot of illiterate people playing games on computers, but anyways, I'm sure you can figure out that this is the W, A, S, and D keys without seeing the letters on there. So that's probably not that big of a deal. It's been a great little keyboard. I have absolutely no intention of changing this thing out, even though the lights are getting kind of dim, and I'm looking in here and there's like a lot of beard hair in there, and it's like something yellow in there too. I don't know what that is. It's weird. But I see some like dead skin cells in there, and yeah, it's really kind of gross when you look in there and see all the crap that gets in there. Ew. The heck is that? That's weird. Okay, anyways, I want to stop looking at my keyboard before I make myself throw up and buy a new keyboard. I did happen to look online. You can't buy just the keyboard on Amazon anymore, but they do have a package where you can buy the keyboard and the mouse together in a package. And I don't own the mouse. I have a Anchor mouse, which I have to do a review of this sometime too, because this mouse has been fantastic. And it gets a lot of compliments when I bring it to comic conventions and draw the MSPaint Comic on there. So you can still see the backlight still on there. Maybe the backlight will show. Yeah, you can see the difference kind of there, where the light gets a lot brighter when I switched from blue to red. And yeah, that's been the effect all over the keyboard. And it's a lot more pronounced in person than it is on camera right now. But, take my word for it, it is half as bright as it used to be. And that's also happened to the number lock key up here as well. That is still half as bright as, and that's the same color blue as the rest of the LEDs on here. So yeah, this has been, it's been a great keyboard. I have absolutely no complaints about it, besides how gross it looks in there now. But stop looking at it. So anyways, folks, I am going to stop looking in the keys of my keyboard before I decide to have to buy a new one and regret it, because I do really love this keyboard. And AULA has done a great job with this one. I think the next time I buy a keyboard, I'll probably end up buying another AULA, just because this has worked so well, and the lead-based Chinese paint that they put on here is really working well. And I shouldn't, for legal purposes, I can't say it's lead-based paint because it probably may not be. So I don't know if it is or isn't, but I haven't died of lead poisoning, and I don't think I'm any more retarded than I was 5 years ago. So it's probably not lead-based. That's a good sign. So anyways, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll let you know if I'm still using this keyboard in 5 more years. Hopefully I am, because it really has been a good keyboard. No problems, no numbers or keys sticking or anything like that, and it's been fantastic. So, all right, well, I'm going to go back to curating ktracy.com and managing YouTube stuff, and I got to finish a commission I have to do. So keep your eyes open. We have a lot of cool content coming up on YouTube here. And if you like these kinds of product reviews and, the weird stuff that I produce, take a look at the channel. Consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate that. It helps a lot with YouTube analytics stuff. And I just, I like knowing that we have a community that's growing here, and having you be a part of that would be absolutely wonderful. So I hope to see you again in some future video. And, well, I shouldn't say I see you again. I should say I hope you see me again in some future video because you have subscribed, or maybe because you just found it and you decided to click on it. Either way, I don't care. I'm glad you're watching the videos, but it'd help me out if you'd subscribe. Please subscribe. Oh, yeah, ktracy.com. Stuff is there. Check it out. Really professional, still after 5 years.